What happens when the world's most iconic pop star meets the world's largest luxury group and AI enters the mix? Rihanna's fashion label may have failed with LVMH, but with digital twins, AI stylists, and blockchain couture, it could rise again as the world's first intelligent luxury maison. Welcome back to Digital Transformer Guy, where we break down how technology, design, and data are rewriting the rules of global business. Today, we're unpacking what went wrong with Rihanna's Fenty fashion line and how AI and digital architecture could make her next chapter unstoppable. But first, let's put some context around this.
She's a top-selling music artist, actress, and global fashion icon. But none of that, it seems, was enough to keep the lights on at Rihanna's fashion label, Fenty. Parent company LVMH on Wednesday said Fenty's ready-to-wear line would be, quote, put on hold pending better conditions, a rare setback for the French luxury group, which has weathered the current economic climate better than most rivals, and which launched the brand less than 2 years ago with a splashy event at which Rihanna said this.
I've never done something like this high-end, and with a team this big and bad. I mean, LVMH is like, they're a machine. It's a monster of a machine. So working with them, you can only expect the best.
LVMH did not elaborate on why it's now hitting the pause button, but after showcasing its debut collection in May of 2019, Fenty kept a low profile and never followed up with major marketing events, even before the health crisis hit. Fenty's creation marked only the second time the retail group had set up a label from scratch, the first being Christian Lacroix's eponymous brand in 1987.
When Rihanna and LVMH unveiled Fenty in 2019, the fashion world held its breath. Here was a cultural icon, a global beauty mogul, and a woman of color breaking into the most exclusive corner of Parisian luxury with the backing of the world's largest luxury conglomerate. The promise was thrilling. A modern maison built on diversity, digital savvy, and streetwear confidence. For a moment, Fenty seemed poised to do what no other celebrity brand had achieved, bridge the gap between luxury heritage and millennial authenticity. But as the glamour settled, reality intruded. The fashion line, ambitious, daring, and sleek, stumbled against the invisible architecture that underpins every successful luxury house. Price points soared beyond the comfort zone of Rihanna's fan base. Her digital-first audience wasn't ready to follow her into the $1,000 blazer economy, and the infrastructure of luxury, ateliers, supply chains, and generational legacy couldn't be built overnight. The result wasn't a failure of taste or creativity. It was a failure of structure. The brand tried to be inclusive and exclusive at the same time without the clear segmentation that, for example, made Toyota and Lexus a case study in brand discipline. For those who don't know, in this context, an atelier is a luxury fashion design workshop where couture is created. In luxury fashion branding, an atelier implies exclusivity, mastery, artisanal excellence, high-level creative experimentation, a place where fashion comes to life. So when we say Fenty Digital Atelier, we're describing a next-generation couture workshop where Rihanna's creative vision is fused with advanced digital technology to produce intelligent, authenticated, personalized luxury fashion. The Fenty brand ecosystem mirrors Toyota and Lexus. One accessible, one luxury. But while Toyota Lexus succeeded, Fenty's fashion venture didn't. Why? Well, her core fan base embraced inclusive affordability, not exclusivity. And then point two, the luxury line launched without heritage or luxury infrastructure. And then COVID-19 hit just as LVMH began distributing Fenty. And Fenty branding blurred the message between inclusivity and prestige. In other words, the product was brilliant, but the brand architecture wasn't engineered for lift. Toyota Lexus succeeded because of segmentation clarity and operational discipline. In other words, separate service, pricing, and dealership ecosystems, distinct customer journeys, infrastructure maturity before launch. Fenty tried to run both markets under one roof, accessible on one hand and couture on the other, without clear structural separation. Here's how Rihanna and LVMH can change the game. Introduce the Fenty Digital Atelier, powered by a digital luxury operating system, or DLOS, which consists of digital twins track each garment's origin, artisan, and sustainability, AI stylists that personalize looks in real time, predictive design models forecast color and texture trends. Blockchain backed resale gives holders of Fenty token authenticated ownership. This system merges culture, craftsmanship, and cognitive intelligence, creating the Tesla of luxury fashion. Imagine walking into a Fenty Maison boutique. You stand before a mirror. An AI stylist trained on Rihanna's design DNA projects your customized couture in augmented reality. The digital twin of that piece instantly writes to blockchain, verifying authenticity. Every stitch, fabric, and tailor is traceable, a blend of heritage and transparency. This approach doesn't just elevate fashion, it creates new revenue channels. Digital couture NFTs could be like 150 to 300 million potential. Fenty token resale royalties, $50 million recurring. AI stylist subscriptions, 25 million to 50 million annually. Predictive design insights licensed to other LVMH brands, 10 million to about 20 million. The result? Fenty evolves from celebrity brand to digital luxury platform. Now, let's talk about where these revenue numbers actually come from. They may seem like guesses, but they're based on real benchmarks from the luxury market. We pulled data from past NFT launches by brands like Gucci and Tiffany, resale industry volumes from companies like The Real Real, subscription adoption rates from premium fashion platforms, and internal trend intelligence models used across luxury retail. When you match those benchmarks to Rihanna's global scale and LVMH's operational power, the revenue projections land exactly where you see them. High, but realistic, and absolutely achievable if the digital atelier is executed correctly. Next up is an outline of the body of work called the Enabler Epic that is needed to deploy the Fenty Digital Atelier architecture. Now, I won't go over the entire epic as it would make this video way too long, so visit our main website at samsonasoftware.com for the full epic. The Enabler Epic is called Fenty Digital Atelier Architecture. And so the goal of this epic: design and launch a scalable, AI-driven digital architecture that unites couture craftsmanship, blockchain authenticity, and customer personalization. The first feature, Digital Twin Couture Platform. Description: create blockchain-verified digital twins for every couture item. And there are user stories. One of those, the first one: as a luxury buyer, I want authentication for every piece I own. The next one: as a designer, I want digital records of artisans and materials. And then task underneath those: develop digital twin schema in Azure Digital Twins. Integrate Hyperledger for provenance validation. Test synchronization between physical and digital product inventories. Let's deep dive into the digital twins task. Here's a clear, practical set of steps you could literally drop under the task in the Fenty team's Agile board. Task: develop digital twin schema in Azure Digital Twins. Clarify the business and fashion domain model. Identify the core entities you need to model for the Fenty Digital Atelier, which includes garments, designer, materials, production batch, collection season, store, customer-facing version, like the SKU. For each entity we just went through, list key attributes such as garment, ID, collection, size, range, that kind of thing. Material, supplier, composition, origin, that kind of thing. Atelier, location, specialization, lead artisan. And then decide which things are digital twins. Specific couture garment instance, a showroom, that kind of thing. Properties of those twins, size, color, artisan, collection. Relationships, like garment made by atelier, garment uses material, garment displayed in the showroom, that kind of thing. For the rest of the tasks and steps, visit samsonasoftware.com, as those are too detailed for this video, of course. Now, if Lexus defined luxury engineering in the 1980s, Fenty can define luxury intelligence in the 2030s. It's time for Rihanna to become the first artist founder to run an AI-driven couture house powered by culture, code, and creativity. Subscribe to Digital Transformer Guy for weekly deep dives into AI, business, and the future of design. And we're almost ready to release our Digital Treasure Trove for Enterprise Solution Architects ebook, which can be a great Christmas gift for the digital tech person in your life. See you in the next video.